two mobs? Last 2 years.
I will answer you. I will answer you.
Wait. Go ahead. Because you're neutral, right? Give me a figure from the last 2 years.
I'm giving you. I'm giving you. Dude, I'm giving you.
You have your chance. Be patient. What is wrong with you? You're a journalist, right? Remember what you said? You said you are a neutral journalist.
I am a journalist. I write in environment. I write in climate change.
So do you know about those figures? Do you know about what's happening in India in the last 2 years?
Yeah, I know.
You have your turn. You have your turn.
You are talking to the wrong person. I'm from India. I come from India.
You stay in the queue. Right. So,
Yes, okay. But you shouting too much. I can't answer.
don't get into it. So, because you are a journalist, at least you have some information about what's happening in India, right? As a neutral journalist. So now, give me a rough figure from what you know.
What is happening in Pakistan? Can you tell
25% Hindu, now 2% left. 25, 2% left. You killed, destroyed. Women's been raped, killed. Yeah, every week. It's happening in India. In BBC confirmed here. Girls grooming gang. In UK, in India, you should Canada, everywhere.
Last 2 years?
What is the population of Muslims? How did they grow? Like, how did they grow? Forcefully. Forcefully.
So, say that again.
Your ancestor, ask your granddad name. His name will be Baba Ramchandra.
Relax. You have your chance. So why is a neutral journalist just walking away? Especially when we want to understand.
Yeah, let's talk about Pakistan. How many people talk about Hindus in Kashmir? Yeah, my name is Jay.
My name is Mansur.
Pakistan, yeah?
I'm not from Pakistan. Okay, so I don't represent Pakistani politics or Pakistani citizenship, whatever. So now, what I want you to know is, are you a peace-loving individual? Only the British people, then they had World War. Nobody, you can't compare. We are the biggest peacemaker in the world. If we were not the peacemaker. So you are a peaceful individual.
Yes,
right. Are you also a man of justice and fairness?
200%.
200, he said. 200. Fine. So now tell me, being a man of justice and fairness and a peaceful individual, for the last, I'm only restricted to the last 2 years. In the last 2 years, give me a figure of the violence that is happening and the number of people that have been burnt, killed, lynched, murdered by two groups I'm focusing on. The Hindu mob, and if you're saying the Muslims are doing that, the Muslim mob. Give me a rough figure.
Why 2 years? Why not 5 years? 10 years?
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. Kashmir, name of Kashmir.
I'm not interested in Kashmir.
Yeah.
India.
Yeah, 25% Hindu was in Pakistan.
Oh no, I'm not interested in Pakistan.
I'm telling
or Kashmir, which is wait. India itself, not the part where there's a dispute, is a part of Pakistan or the part of India. So leave the issues of Kashmir aside. Tell me, in India itself, mainstream India, Indian provinces.
Yeah, still more Hindus got killed, whether it's the Delhi riots, whether it's Hyderabad riots, whether it's Meerut riots.
Give me a number. Give me a number.
Number, you can see the guys in jail because of killing.
No, give me a number. Number of people that got killed. Jay, don't get pulled away.
No.
It's your opportunity to engage with the world, to really tell the people what is going on in India.
Yeah, it is what is happening in India.
Yeah. So answer my question, Jay.
I'm telling you, Muslims dominating, they're misusing. What Nupur Sharma said, nothing wrong. But look what is happening.
What was my question that you were answering?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your question, I'm answering your question.
Which is?
Yeah.
What is my question?
Your question is how many Hindu got killed?
And how many Muslims got killed?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
70% Hindu got got killed?
No, give me a number. Rough number.
I don't know the number.
But you're from India. You came to volunteer to talk about it. And you don't know?
How give me the percentage?
Give me a rough number. Is it like 30 people?
No, more than 30.
Like how many?
Probably 10, 20, 30,000.
10, 20, 30,000 in the Indian provinces other than Kashmir killed by Muslims.
I include Kashmir.
No, don't include Kashmir.
India. Kashmir is part of India.
Listen,
Why not?
Jay, listen, Jay.
No, you, why not?
Jay,
How
listen.
many people
I'm
militant-
trying to make you
Why not
a
Kashmir?
real person of fairness and justice and a peaceful person.
You know, one
Listen.
thing I'm telling you here,
Jay.
you're talking about justice.
Jay.
You are the biggest misleading of justice. Biggest misleading of
Where am I
justice.
from? Where am I from?
I don't know.
So how can you even accuse me of that? Excuse me. Now he has to go for the car keys. Is there any other Hindu fair, peaceful, just people? Brother, excuse me, brother, Muslim? Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Come here. So you also wanted to volunteer to speak earlier on. Your friend, when they're dragged away by a car key issues, he's not going to come back. This is a reality, it's an issue, like the other journalists also was been dragged away. So may I ask you, because the violence is happening in India, we don't want...
Okay. What do you want to talk? You want to talk about what? Let's start talking from Pakistan. And then we'll talk about India. Let's talk about Pakistan.
You know the Sri Lankan guy got...
Am I going to speak to him or am I going to speak to you? Speak to you? Okay. My sister, in humanity.
In humanity?
Yes.
Please think about the sisters like Kandil Balor.
No, before you speak, do you think I'm from Pakistan?
I'm not talking about India, Pakistan.
I am talking about India.
I'm talking about humanity.
I saw the Indian
I'm talking about
flag.
humanity.
I'll tell you.
I'm talking about humanity.
I can only speak to one person. Why are you not respecting a lady? With one person. Yeah, exactly.
You're talking about
Between yourself, why don't you volunteer one person to speak to?
You're talking
Relax.
about minorities, right?
Sorry.
You're talking about minorities.
Can I? Excuse me. May I ask?
Humanity, right?
Between yourself, bro, just one person to speak. Who's that going to be? You or the lady?
I'll speak.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Now, remember, I saw the Indian flag here, and I heard the word genocide.
We were talking about Indian genocide in Kashmir. He's talking right, you're talking
My
minorities.
dearest uncle in
He's
humanity,
talking right, so one at
he
a
was
time.
representing to talk on your behalf.
Okay. Go on.
Thank you. And thank you. So now, what's your name? Raj. My name is Mansur, right? We do not want to see any violence, any aggression, any injustice anywhere in the world. Do you agree?
We believe in that. We practice that. Do you practice? Do you practice?
Look, I practice. Yes.
So you're representing yourself, right? As a you.
Who do you represent?
I'm representing myself, and you are asking. So if you want to ask question, I will talk about me.
Sure.
But if you ask about general, then I represent either
Sure.
India or
So-
Hindus or whosoever.
Fine.
So that way you also tell me who
Jay,
you represent.
when I saw the Indian flag and people talk about genocide, I said, wow, now at least now, finally, we have...
Someone is talking about Hindu genocide. That's good.
Stick to your principle.
Okay, one second, I'll talk. You listen to the talk.
No.
You listen to the talk.
I am going to tell them not to interrupt.
Did you listen to the talk?
Look, he agreed to be a volunteer to have a discussion, because otherwise we can't have a meaningful discussion, right? Right. So, as I was saying, when I saw the Indian flag, Indian people, I heard the word genocide, I said, finally now, some really must be fair, just people talking about the genocide against the non-Hindus, against the Muslims in India happening.
Just a minute.
Wait, I'm not finished.
Ignorance.
Wait a minute. No, you can.
I thought.
Wait a minute.
Can I finish? Okay. So when I first came and I saw this, I said, finally now.
Wait a minute.
There are some very good, honorable people, men and women, who are from Indian ethnicity. They are now going to speak the truth and say the thing that is happening by the Modi government in India, the genocide against the non-Hindus, against the Muslims, for example. Now you'll be talking against it. Wait. Listen. And then when I asked someone, and I heard it was the opposite. So that's why I want to know, where are the real people who can talk about what is happening in India? So now I'm asking, Jay, I'm going to ask you this question. Violence is happening in India by both sides. We can see that. Don't ask me which social media we see.
Okay.
Now I want to ask this question to you, because you came to talk about this protest, so you are peaceful people or people of justice. That's what you're trying to at least illustrate. Give me a figure, the number of people that were lynched, killed, burnt, murdered by either of the two mobs from both sides. Last 5 years.
Okay, wait a minute.
Last 5 years. And don't focus on Kashmir
Just a minute.
and India itself.
Yourself. Now listen to me. You talk about humanity. 5 minutes before you give a lecture about you believe in humanity and all, right? You contradict yourself. You should have spoken about that. I want to see the genocide happening in India on either side, but you will not speak about that. Very conveniently, you will say it's a Muslim genocide. It's a Muslim genocide. Do you know what is happening in India? Do you know how many Muslims are killing Hindus? How many times they kill? How many they did the ethnical cleansing of Kashmir? How they're asking to do? You go each town, each city, each place, they ask you, right? Each town, each village you go, they have made a ghettos. They don't want Hindus to go over there. They said, this is our land, this is what we want, get away from there. This is what is happening, right? So if you see, yes, violence is happening, but it's a reaction to the action which is being instigated on the name of so-called peace, loving and all. How can your religion so fragile that on one single comment which is written in a book that Muhammad did so and so, people get violence about it, and then they go and on the street protest? Why? If it is there, let it be there. It is written on the book. Read the book. She hasn't quoted anything wrong, but they will go, and when they go on loot, they will burn the villages, burn the town, livelihood of people. People react, right? So you need to understand. You cannot just go and say, oh, this is what is happening. You need to understand that.
Thank you very much, Jay. What was my question to you that you answered?
I gave you the whole answer to your question.
What was my question?
Now you tell
I will
me.
tell you the data.
You just ask about the numbers. So numbers.
250 Hindus killed.
What was my question?
No, you ask about how many Hindus were killed and how many Muslims were killed.
And what did you say in
So
your
I
response?
just told you all the things. What is happening to that?
No, did
I
you-
may not know the number. Do you know? You tell me the number.
So Jay, if you didn't know the number, you could have simply said,
Why I have to say that?
Hey.
You will give me a bloody whole lecture about the whole humanity you believe. And then the Muslim genocide.
Jay, remember,
Not Jay.
Raj,
I'm a Hindu British. We are
you came
forgot the
to
name.
volunteer.
Hindu British. We are Hindu
No, you will go around. And
Raj,
just, okay,
Raj,
yeah.
I asked a specific question for a specific
He's doing
reason.
time pass. He's not interested in the
For a specific reason.
Okay.
He's
I don't
trying
see,
to do time pass.
I don't see from the Hindus,
Let's go.
I don't see from the Hindus,
Wasting our time. Come on.
I have not seen
Yeah.
Hindu people coming up and really talking about the truth.
Do you know something?
I thought
Wait a minute,
you
wait
could
a
be
minute.
one of them,
No.
and I can be.
I'll give you the good example.
I have not finished.
Watch
You
NDTV.
talk. I have not
India.
finished.
NDTV will give you bloody numbers. They
Right.
are Hindus. And
Right.
they will give the number. This is or not.
Do you watch
India
it?
I don't watch it because I don't
So
watch
why are
it.
you asking? So why are you asking?
But he will agree. Your person is agree. Go and watch
Yeah, go
NDTV.
ahead.
Okay,
Go and
Raj,
watch
calm down.
They give the
Calm
number.
down, man.
Raj.
Okay, Raj, who killed Gandhi?
Right?
Hindu or Muslim?
Muslim.
Why are you
Muslims
talking
kill
about
them.
religion?
Gandhi.
Pakistan killed it.
Look at this guy. He doesn't know who
You need
killed
to-
Gandhi.
you need to-
And he thinks he's an
Who
Indian.
killed Jinnah?
No, wait.
You know
Who killed? No, Raj,
Relax,
calm down.
relax.
Wait a minute.
Who
Relax.
killed Gandhi?
I know my history. I know my history.
It's Godse. Okay? Godse wasn't a Muslim. You didn't even know that. So let me educate you on India. Who killed Indira Gandhi? Again, not a Muslim.
What is it?
Who killed Indira Gandhi? Who killed Rajiv Gandhi? Again, not a Muslim.
You are
There you
talking
go.
about-
So the Hindus are killing their own Hindus, and they are saying we are the ones killing. Now wait. With all due respect, with all due
Come back.
respect, according to Hinduism,
Have you got the car keys? Come.
according to Hinduism, you guys want peace. The Muslims want peace.
They will not
Raj.
admit it.
How
So let's Raj. So the reason why, did I ask you to give me a figure only how many Muslims were killed, or did I give you to give me a figure from both sides?
You said only Muslims.
Yeah, right.
I hear only Muslims.
Okay, so you're not even listening to the question. Perhaps,
You just said Muslims.
did I say only Muslims were killed?
You just said.
You are trying
Wait,
to
this is brother.
See, I'll tell you.
Subhanallah.
There is always 99
Brother, one second.
mentality.
No, brother,
women
please,
talking.
please, one second.
That's why
Raj.
Kabir was killed.
Excuse me.
You can't tolerate women talking, isn't it?
Excuse me, sister in humanity.
Why has it become a race capital
Tolerate
if they
women
respect
talking,
women?
isn't it?
No.
Why has it become
I'm trying to have a conversation with the gentleman.
You know that, right?
Raj?
India is a rape capital.
But
I don't think so.
Look at your own statistics. You should really go and read up.
Listen.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
No, it does matter.
I am asking.
Why does it matter?
What
Why does it matter?
Of
course.
You honestly want me
You
to
go.
talk?
Right.
So answer the question.
Don't
Okay,
tell
let
that
me
also.
begin from the beginning.
So can you answer the question I
I
asked?
will not answer question.
Then I'm not interested in talking to you.
No. Why are you
So
not talking?
the reason I asked this question
So the gathering here
is
was
to
about
show
Hindu genocide. Did
whether
not say
you
anything
are
about Hindu
fair
genocide?
or unfair.
Because you're denying
If
it.
you're really fair, then you will say these are the casualties of both sides, and we don't want casualties from any side. That's true fairness. That's true peace loving. Do you agree?
Kashmir Hindu genocide.
Right. So I asked Raj.
Don't give us
There
all these
was a
lectures.
genocide in Hindu.
I asked you, Raj.
Wait a minute, let
7
him finish.
times.
Casualties
Seven
from
times.
both
30 years
sides.
ago, Hindu
I wasn't
leave the
focusing
valley,
on only
can
one
go
group.
fly or leave. That is the
But
You are
Maybe
not
I do not know the
going to
numbers,
going to deny
but
it.
equal number of people
India is
from
a
either
big capital.
side.
Go and
Yeah,
read about
right.
it.
So-
Equal number.
And what
Whatever
about
number you
Pakistan?
call.
You
I
don't
cannot
respect
say.
children,
So
you
you're
don't respect
saying
women.
equal
You don't
number.
respect men.
Is
You
this-
don't respect the poor. You don't
I'll
respect
give you,
anyone.
if you call Pahlu Khan is born lynched,
yes,
Just to keep
Akhilesh
peace
Tiwari
in
is
the
also
faith.
killed.
You
So there are the
lynch
people
them.
which is happening on the
What
both
is
sides. I can
our-
You
give you
don't
that.
respect even
You
humans.
cannot
And then you talk about genocide.
simply
This is a prophecy that's
isolate
coming from Hindu.
one
Yeah.
individual
Right.
when
Nobody wants to talk about
hundreds
religion
of
from all the
people have been
Hindus. We would
lynched.
like your
So now,
your
Where
religious
you get that
scholar
number?
to come and have a
Where you get
discussion.
that number?
so
Where you got that?
is that a Bollywood movie then?
Yeah, show me.
You
Show me
did
the
not
script.
I'm asking.
Then we have to
No,
No, I'm
respond.
telling you that.
Respond in
So how many people were killed for the last 2 years?
I do not know the number, but I'm
Roughly.
saying the equal number. Maybe
Roughly.
50, maybe 40, 50.
Yeah.
So 40, 50 people were killed from both sides.
No, you're not Indian. In Pakistan, you're married.
Do you agree with this number?
Maybe.
One second.
No, why you are hung up on the number?
The reason I'm hanging up is this, because
Tell the number and we agree on that.
no.
Let's move on.
We're still not
Another
agreeing.
topic, right? Okay.
So now, if
You're not Marathi.
Mansur,
You cannot speak Marathi.
if someone is
You cannot speak Marathi.
This is happening on
You're
both
Indian.
sides.
No, you're not.
Both the sides.
You're not
both
Marathi.
sides,
Both sides, yeah.
where can I see that's happening in both sides? Which media can I watch?
You're not Marathi.
No, hang on. I want to see and watch from reputable sources. So
Okay, see, I'll tell you.
that where the equal number being also
You know
being
there are many secular
killed,
Muslims.
where can I watch them?
Doesn't mean that they're not Indian. I think that is the most stupidest logic I've heard.
No, but okay, number you are
Before-
on both
That's
sides.
such a big
I don't
country.
know where-
People every day.
What I'm trying to understand is
No. My point is,
Hindus.
why everywhere Muslims are not happy. Anywhere you go, why they are not happy.
you are
You're the one who
agreeing
did
that
it.
it's happening on both the sides.
No, you're not.
But I do not agree on an equal number.
Let's leave the number.
I do not agree it happens in an equal number.
It's not happening both sides.
Same country who say Israel do not have right to be there.
Give me a percentage wise from each side.
Just let's agree on one point. It's happening on the side or not.
They don't talk about
So are you saying
It's happening both the side or not. Yes or no.
Hindu genocide.
how many percentage wise is happening from each side?
What happens to human
I just told you it's happening from both sides.
I'm just asking a simple
I told you it's happening from both sides. But what I want to know from you is who is supporting the lynching?
Don't question on the question. Let's agree.
I agree.
No, that's what you said.
Yeah.
It's happening both the sides.
Yeah. On equal amount?
My it's not my
Right. So we need to identify.
Next question. So you also agree that it shouldn't happen, right?
That's your
You are
mentality.
saying it's happening both the sides. Maybe numbers vary, right? Maybe if you are saying one side is 90%, the other side is 10%. Let's agree. Your point is it shouldn't happen.
Yes.
Right? So that's the whole point.
Right. So now tell me now. Why are people? Why are innocent people?
Next question.
Wait. Why is the Modi government aiding
I'm
this?
not responsible for the Modi government.
What are you doing against that?
I'm here.
What are you doing?
But
What are you doing?
I am making the world know what's happening by the Modi government. The Modi government is not a peaceful government.
Let them know what's happening in
Okay.
Pakistan or other
Oh,
countries.
now
Sir,
you're deflecting to
sir,
someone else. Instead of dealing with the problem in India, you're deflecting somewhere else.
on any conclusion, but we both agreed it shouldn't happen.
Why are you not telling your Modi government to stop the genocide?
So I'm not going to answer it. I'm not
Also, India is known as the rape capital. Why?
We both at least agreed on one point that it shouldn't
Look
happen.
at that. Look at that. So aggressive.
Right?
But so aggressive. Look at it.
What are you?
That's the point.
What are
Can we take hand?
Yes, I do this.
Talking about India,
It
why?
shouldn't happen both.
Why?
Let's leave it.
What are you doing against your
I
own
have my
government?
own work. Let me continue that.
But why don't you influence your government to stop the genocide?
Thank you.
Hindu-phobic people, you are Hindu-phobic. You know?
Really?
I'm not talking about Hindu genocide.
What did I
You are
say?
Hindu-phobic.
There is no Hindu genocide.
There is a
That's
Hindu
a lie.
genocide. The first step is to actually
They're pulling you away because you're lying.
Nobody is lying. We have other work as well, sir.
Go away. They're pulling you away.
We are not.
India is the rape capital according to your newspapers.
We both agreed on one point. Whatever is happening shouldn't happen.
By the way, do you agree that India should not be a rape capital?
This guy is a
It's in your own newspapers, not mine.
What did I say?
Have you seen
Hindustan
What did I
Times.
say?
Hindustan Times.
What does media say?
You accused me of Hinduphobia. You accused me of being racist. What did I say? You just lied against me.
You cannot talk about women talking.
No, you just lied against me.
You cannot talk
Why is
about
the
People who are listening,
You are Hindu-phobic.
watch the whole clip. Have I ever been Hinduphobic? Have I ever been racist?
You are
This lady is accusing by making a lie. Wake up, people. The lie you are saying against me. No. I want you to tell her that I have not said anything against.
talking about humanity
so
at
aggressive,
all.
woman.
Why are you
You
so
are not talking about
irritated?
humanity at all.
Why are you irritated?
You
She's
are
aggressive.
Hinduphobic.
Why are you irritated? Relax.
Hinduphobic.
What did I say? What did I say? No, what did I say?
That's your delusion.
This is how London is becoming.
That's your
What did I say?
What did you say?
Yeah.
You are
Tell the
denying
Hindus to
Hindu
come to
genocide.
speak as corner.
Which one?
In a peaceful
Which
way.
genocide?
We'll give them a platform.
No, you accused me. What did I say?
You are denying genocide.
When did I deny?
This is a
You did not
platform.
let us
Maybe you
talk
never
about
heard of
When did I
speaking
deny
corner.
anything?
Actually
Maybe you
stopping
haven't.
my freedom
It's
of
been here more than 100 years.
You're denying
You're
it.
serious?
Yes, I am serious.
Maybe
When
you're
did
not-
I deny
There
any
are
genocide?
There are 35,000 people watching us.
Oh, there's more people watching
Yeah.
the
35,000 foot.
Yeah.
There are probably a million people are watching compared to this.
35,000.
Actually,
Right. So, may I just say one
It's
thing?
a lie.
So the 35,000 people who are watching,
You look on
you
the
just
screen.
seen an
That's a
example
lie.
of someone lying in front of your face.
Seriously.
You cannot tolerate women
Come on.
talking. Yeah, you cannot tolerate
India is the rape capital. Go and sort
You
that out
cannot
first.
tolerate women talking.
Firstly, the lie you accuse people of is amazing. Your 35,000 viewers would watch the beginning of your clip to the end and they would not find anything. And instead, they will tell you how hypocritical you are. A hypocrite, a liar.
Yes, and a lie.
See the crowd? They cannot tolerate women talking.
Yeah, it's only 2 people watching it. Look, I can see it from here.
Look, this is the crowd.
It's
They
just
cannot
35,000
tolerate women talking.
My sister in humanity, stop lying.
They did not let me talk.
Stop lying.
I can talk about that time.
Who didn't let you talk? Your own people dragged you away.
So I thought we would find some real, peaceful, peace-loving, fair Hindus in the park today. today?
Let us talk about Hindu genocide.
We couldn't find any.
Yeah?
Apart from this one individual spoke earlier.
We were here to talk about Hindu genocide in Kashmir. It's been happening for last 30 years. They did not let us talk about it. This is the freedom of expression in London.
You know what?
They are denying
You know what?
it. The first step is
Would you
they did not
let
even
the
talk
sister
about
know
it. Please
that
go home.
all this
Please
emotional
do not
outburst
Kashmir
is
files
not going to help
and please
to solve the problem
and
of the propaganda that we see by the Hindus?
in Kashmir
Hindus need to stop
I'll tell you
doing the
about
propaganda.
stories of
They need to stop killing the people, right?
Stand there and just give a quick comment.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Can you face away from the side?
Right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. I came to the park today and I was quite interested when I heard there was a speech
I know you love
in a
attention.
group of people.
You're angry because you're not getting it.
Let's move around because she's not going to be
You're angry because you're not getting the attention.
not interrupting. She'll keep on interrupting. Right. So, see, it's recording still. So I was quite actually interested when I saw a gathering here with an Indian flag and real Indian people, and I thought, wow, at least finally we will see and hear some real Hindus who are peaceful, peace-loving people, man and woman of justice, to talk against the atrocity committed by the Indian government, by the Hindutva mob in India. And guess what? I was shocked to find it was the opposite. They were talking about a film about the genocide against the Hindus. So when I wanted to ask them, what's happening in India today? Are there Muslims being lynched, killed, murdered, burnt? And they said no. One individual even said, maybe only 5 people out of these 5 years got killed. Unbelievable brainwashing. Look, we don't want any human beings to be killed, lynched, murdered. We don't want any of that. Whether you be a Hindu or a Muslim or a Jew or a Christian or an atheist or no religion. Human beings, your life is sacred. That is what Islam says. Human life is sacred.
This is what Quran says.
Can you not interrupt when I'm talking? This is a fanatic Christian heckler, because now I'm going to talk about something which is universally shared. He's going to interrupt.
Why don't you speak against terrorism? Happen in India.
Right.
Time.
Just to finish up, in the Quran,
Happen.
Allah says
That
that Allah told Bani Israel that killing one person is like killing of whole of humanity. So the subhanallah, look at this.
So when Muhammad
People need to understand that Islam considers human life sacred. That teaching that was given
when he killed
in the Torah is universalized. Islam did not abrogate that teaching. That teaching is such that killing one person unjustly is like killing the whole of humanity. Saving one person is like saving of whole of humanity. It is not about killing a Muslim life or a Christian life or not. Human life. So these people will bark. They will bark at the sides so that you don't listen to this universal, agreeable teaching of Islam. They want you to be silent from listening, but you know for sure. So when we talk about the violence that we see in India, India, for example, if the Muslims are committing violence, we will speak against it. We are not going to say, oh, they're my brothers, let us celebrate. No. Injustice, unjust killing is never going to be right. If they are killed, even by Muslims unjustly, that is wrong, and they should be facing the hands of the law and be then punished if they were treated.
There's a Hindu here who wants to talk to us.
Fine.
All right.
So now, just to show to you again,
Talk to you individually.
we were discussing earlier
You want to talk?
these Hindus
From the Talmud.
illustrating to us they were peaceful, fair, neutral and just. But what did we see? In the discussion we saw emotional outbursts, not from a fair individual, but someone who's aggressive inside. The passive aggression that we saw, it is all to see. Instead, 34,000 followers, she was lying to that I apparently am a Hindu phobic, that I was a racist, when I said no such a thing, when I was telling the opposite. So, this man comes from a Hindu background. Is that so? He's defending them. So just again, oh people,
He killed innocent people.
be man and woman of justice. Stand up against injustice, wherever it may be. Whether it be your own community, your own people. In the Quran, you will be surprised to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, be and stand firm as firm witnesses. Stand firm as firm witnesses, even if it goes against your own self, against your kin, your relatives. That is the ideal that Islam brings to establish justice on earth. So we invite you to the justice of Islam. We invite you to the truth of Islam. We invite you to the reality of your purpose in this life is not to worship idols which you make with your own hands, not to worship idols that you crave in your own factory, but to worship the one and only Creator, the Creator of Krishna, whether he existed in reality, the Creator of Christ, whether he was, as they claim, to be the Messiah or not. But we believe all of these people, all of the people have been believed wrongly to be gods on earth. No, none of them are worthy of worship except the one who created them all. So, oh people, come back to the worship of God, because only then, and only then, you'll have true salvation. If you worship a man or a woman, a monkey or a rat, or anything of this creation, you will not be saved in the hereafter. You will not smell the fragrance of paradise. Only if you worship your Creator who created the whole of cosmos, you will have your salvation. We will have our salvation. So what are we inviting you to? To wake up. Wake up to worship none but the one and only God. Don't worship anyone else. If you want to worship anyone else, you seal your fate and you will face your consequence. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله ولكم. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله ولكم. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.